Hey guys, here's the Freeze Mage I've been running in Goblins vs. Gnomes. There's actually only two new cards in here as the two Sheeps, but Freeze Mage got a lot stronger mostly because Hunters don't run Flare anymore because they got nerfed. So I beat Hunters on ladder now. The only hard matchup is Warrior, and for that matchup I've actually decided I don't need two Sheeps and I run Pyroblast just so I have a chance to beat Warrior. But if you're not facing too much Warriors or you don't care about helping just that one matchup, you can run the two Sheeps. It'll help you a lot versus all the aggro decks, all the mech decks, all the zoo decks. The Sheeps really help you a lot. They help stall out the game. They're only 2 mana, which is perfect early because you get to use a Sheep and something like when you draw cards like that or this, you can set it up so you can play a Sheep the turn before you Acolyte, so you can run the Sheep and get the Acolyte draw without even having to use your 2 mana on hero power on your Acolyte. It's really nice, and it just helps you use your freezes and doomsayers and AoEs more efficiently. If you're not familiar with the deck, the way it works is it tries to draw into Alexstrasza while delaying with freezes, and then it uses burn spells on their face to finish them off. And there's plenty in the deck. There's 14, 26, 36 damage, so plenty, and plus you can make more fireballs with Tinnitus. Usually you'll try not to use any of those spells on creatures, you'll just save it all for the face, but I'll go over match by match in the videos which matchups you actually have to use things like Frostbolts and maybe even Fireballs early to clear the board. There's 3 different types. The cards in this deck fall into 3 different categories. There's the burn spells, the Frostbolts, the Ice Lance, the Fireballs, the Pyroblast, and I'd count these 2 as burn spells as well. So there's burn spells, there's draw cards to help you draw into your burn spells and draw them fast. You'll find that when you play Freeze Mage, you draw like, every game you're drawing like 20, 25, 30 cards of your deck. You're really drawing almost the whole deck every single game. So there's a lot of consistency in that sense, and there's also just a lot of draw cards. So you want to get those first. You want to draw as much as possible first. And then the third category, so the burn spells, draw spells, and then just delay to help make it happen, to help you live, to help them not get too out of control. So you have Mad Scientist actually is a draw spell and a delay spell. It's a 2/2 body, and then it gives you your defensive delay cards, which are barrier and block. Your other delay mechanisms are freezes, so Frost, Nova, Kona, Cold, Blizzard, and then your last delay mechanism is your AoE, which is your Doomsayer, your Explosive Sheep, and your Flame Strike. That clears the board, so usually you delay with the freeze, then you clear the board with the AoE, and then you cast Alex or Antonidas, and then you finish them off with burn, something like that. But not all matchups are the same. Against really aggro classes, you have to start like shooting burn spells at their creatures. Just run them out of cards, gain control, and then plop an Antonidas or an Alexstrasza once they're out of cards, and then they can't handle it. But I go over match by match in the videos, but let's see if I go over the classes real quick. Druid, typically you're not using any burn spells on creatures at all. You're just delaying, getting the Alex off, and Alex is super important in Druid. Druid, you almost always have to Alex before you Antonidas, but if they're out of cards, they're low, you can do something like Antonidas, gain a Fireball, but you're still pretty much waiting for Alex. You're not going to kill them without Alex, typically. Hunters usually just control the board as efficiently as possible. Use as many burn spells on creatures as you want, and just run them out of cards, get Alex on the table, and just you'll end up hitting them with Alex most of the time. This matchup got a lot better because they don't run Flare, and the 16 extra points of Ice Barrier health that you'll have will really help a lot, and the 2 Ice Blocks will help as well to get you that Alex. You're usually using Alex to heal yourself, and then just hitting them in the face with it. Alex herself over the few turns. Mage is kind of all over the place right now. There's a lot of mech mages that can really get out of control early, so you really need to control them. Use your Sheeps and your Doomsayers early to clear the board, and a lot of them run like the Piloted Treader, so your AoEs aren't too efficient. They don't fully clear the board, so you really have to plan them out to really control the board and not die early, because they have a lot of burn spells in their deck that can just shoot them at you too, which is annoying because your freeze doesn't really do anything when they're just shooting spells at you. Neither does Ice Barrier. Paladin was a super favorite matchup. It got a little harder with Muster for battle, but the Explosive Sheep helps keep them under control. A lot of them cut Kodo too, so you can count on your Doomsayer going off more often. Unlike Priest, which is also still and is still a favored matchup, but they all run Shadow Word Pain now, so I've noticed, so you can't really count on your Doomsayers going off as well, but it's still a favored matchup. Rogue is kind of all over the place because they're still trying to figure it out, but It's generally a favored matchup, but sometimes the mech decks can get out of control really quickly with Mech Warper, but we have the Explosive Sheep and the Doomsayer and the AoE to help shut them down. And Gallywix, I ran into that in one of the videos you'll see. Actually not that annoying, because the coin actually helps us a lot. Shaman are super, super rare, but they are scary because of these two cards. Crackle can really burst you out of nowhere, and then this card you pretty much have to save a Frostbolt just for this card to take it out, or else it'll do too much damage to you early. Zoo got a little easier, I think, because sometimes people are like, they're trying mech decks right now, they're cutting Egg, which is a big card, they're cutting Owls, which is a big card against us too, so Zoo's a little easier right now. Soulfire, no Soulfire really helps. They run Dark Mom, which is still hard, but it's not as bad as Soulfire was. The 0-mana Soulfire, that is. And then Handlock. Handlock is super easy matchup because they're all cutting Loatheb. Loatheb was one of the hardest cards for us to deal with Handlock. They all cut Loatheb for this card, which you'd think would be annoying for Freeze Mage, but actually just the fact that Loatheb gone makes this card kind of irrelevant. You just have to plan around it. I'll talk about it in the videos how to do that. But since we don't have to worry about Loatheb, Handlock got a lot easier. And then Warrior. Warrior's super hard. They got the Shield Maiden. They got this card, which gives us a lot of trouble. But they're cutting Loatheb as well, which really helps us. So it's really hard to beat Warrior. I put the Pyroblast in the deck so I can beat Warrior, but I still only beat Warrior about 25% of the time. It's usually when I have the coin as well for Antonidas. But I'll talk about this in the videos as well. Hopefully I can get a win. But yeah, that's the deck. And now we'll go into the videos. I recorded some of them already. I'll record some more, so that's why I was kind of like talking in the past and the future. But yeah,